because
Yeah. Welcome back to the big room. Thank you for coming back. I sort of went to a few places and then came back here, so it's nice. Okay, so I don't know how many rooms there were in the end, but any feedback? What was the sort of emerging themes from your rooms? Where did the conversations take you?
I'll let somebody else do the talking.
Shall I go first? I was just, because I was talking with Dudu and of Janice from Bella Vista. And they do a lot of dementia care, and they were saying that obviously listening to people with dementia, getting into their world really, and just a lot, you know, just that connection, which is so important really, because so listening and letting people tell a story, whatever their story, is therapeutic, but particularly so for people with dementia, because it means they can connect. And I thought that was really clear. And Janice said this lovely thing. She said, it was where people say, going past, when they say, oh, I like your top, or I like your, it's an invitation to connect. They're saying, I want to connect with you, really. I want to talk with you. And so we had a lovely conversation with this, but just what a tough time they've had. You know, they've laughed and they've cried and they've done various lovely things around the community. But but obviously listening to people is so important, isn't it? What can we say?
Absolutely right, Nick. I mean, we were talking in our room that we're really aware that we haven't touched the surface really of the people that are living in care homes in Wales. We can't always connect with people over Zoom for various reasons, and we knew that was an issue. But for us, it was about, well, what can we do? Who can we speak to? And we've learned lots from residents, perhaps who aren't living with dementia, who talk about the experience of the people they know in their care home who do live with dementia. And we've had many attempts of speaking to people in later stage dementia that have worked well, because we've focused in on what they want to talk about, like you say, connecting. We've had to abandon many Zooms as well that just haven't worked, and that's not, but you know, we've never want to put any of the care homes or any of the residents under any pressure, or the artists themselves that are so skillfully doing the conversations. So for us, it's been, there's the conversation, what was good that came out of that, and what might we be able to share. We've had some residents that have spoken about the people that they live with who've got dementia and how they've struggled to reconnect with families, or how and then we've spoken to residents who have no memory of what COVID is at all now, you know, which has been quite interesting. So many of our conversations, John, have taken us to places that we never thought we'd go, and it's all wonderful and lovely, rich life experiences.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it's amazing the resilience of people, really. I think I found on this project, and how positive they are, and they take every day as it comes. And you know, a few people, you know, have been quite negative about the whole experience, but most people have been, you know, they want to talk about other things. They want to talk about their lives, and they come up with all this funny stuff, and it's just been a whole range. It's been such a privilege to talk to them. Such an interesting bunch of people. They've been amazing, you know. I'm going to mention a funny story, which I've been reviewing my videos, and it was a lovely woman, and I was asking her about what's she looking forward to doing. Now that COVID's kind of, you know, it's all relaxing a bit, and she was joking. She was full of stories, and she was joking that because she had a leg amputated, another person in the home had the other leg amputated, so they were planning to go down the shoe shop, buy a pair of shoes, and share them. The way she told it was just absolutely brilliant, you know, and it's just full of these amazing stories. But yeah, it's been great.
People are asking, because in our little group there was they had a photographer, somebody off telly actually, took portraits, and how much the the residents appreciated that, and we were wondering whether, with this software, is it something that you could take photographs and then is it easy software? It looks, those portraits look lovely, or is it because you're a great artist, or is it something that could be almost developed as an activity with them? Could you train care workers to create portraits?
You could use different software to do that for sure. Yeah. I would imagine it's something you get on a phone these days. Something that turns a photograph into an oil painting type looking thing.
Yeah, well, that would be lovely to create.
Well,
something
it is just my skill as an artist, though. Just to answer that point.
So should we pop the film on?
Yeah. Okay. So this is. Hopefully, I'm going to do this right. So I'm going to go to. It's about 8 minutes, isn't it, Suzy?
Yeah.
So I'll share screen. It says share sound. Is that right? Am I right, Kim? Doing the right thing?
Yeah. Share sound and optimize sound as well.
And optimize. Oh, it doesn't let me do that. It's blank somehow. It did before, but when you became host, I don't know, did it change? It's optimized video, isn't? I can't click on it. It's gone faded.
So it'll still work fine, just with the share sound.
Share sound. Okay.
Do you want to watch my video with me?
Is that working?
I must have had it very
Yes.
mildly. I think it was harder for the staff with all the hygiene that they had to follow, really.
Yeah, well, I wasn't very well as it happened, I was really, I contacted it, so I was under the weather. I was always sickly feeling, I didn't want food, I didn't want anything, just sleep. Yes, but I'm on top of the world now, I've got over it.
I get letters from the Minister for Health saying that I should watch because of my risk. I've had both jabs, which is a good thing. And as I say, I just go to the dining room. I don't really participate
much.
It's been a struggle for me sometimes, a real struggle for me. Unfortunately, I've lost some optimism just recently.
I think there's a lot of people who are 70 plus, and although it looks as though you're not taking anything in and you're just sort of sitting about lounging and half asleep most of the time, some things do filter through, and so you're worried about the hand washing and things like that. I'm very grateful because the staff were always particular, if you like, about wearing aprons and having masks on, masks especially.
Then we had a couple of weeks we were up in our rooms with, what do you call it? Isolated for a fortnight. That was hard.
Yeah.
And we couldn't come out of the room for a fortnight. That was very hard.
We've been in lockdown and the days have been so long and lonely, for someone like me, who's been a very busy person all the working life.
The worst thing for us, I think, is seeing the empty chairs. It brings the person back to you and you think, oh, we won't see her again, but I think people are getting used to it now. But certainly in here, they're not relaxed enough to be able to catch it again. Just little things brings people's memories back, and then you start to feel you do get close to people who are in here, and when you feel that they're more than friends, they're family really.
I could see a lot of difference in people's minds. People, the Alzheimer people, they miss I think what it is, they miss their families probably more than we do.
It's important that you laugh because there's a lot of things to be sad about at the moment. People are frightened of talking to somebody else at the moment because of this COVID thing, and because everybody keeps saying, you mustn't mix, which is true because the virus spreads like wildfire. It's like a snooker table, really. You hit one ball and it hits all the others and it goes all over the place, and that's how this virus is traveling.
I think if people were truthful they would admit that you get despondent. It's gone on so long. There's no end to it, is there?
We did have visits behind shields, and it was nice to see family, but not to be able to touch them has been very soul destroying.
Well, my life seems to be the same all the way through.
But the families and us going out and us having a life outside the home, isn't it?
Oh, we miss that. We all miss
Yeah.
that. Going outside and having a bit of fresh air and having a bit of a walk.
Seeing the family, isn't it?
Yes, and seeing the family.
The thing I miss most, because I was a church goer, Church of Wales, and we can't go out to church, of course, and they can't come in. We do a little bit of it amongst ourselves, but it's not really enough for me. I could do with some more. That's the worst thing.
At the moment, I can see my son every day because he walks on the prom. So I can wave to him from the window. He only lives up the road. So I'm very fortunate there.
I think it's been a bit harder on those who have come in since lockdown.
Yes.
Because we've had to be isolated quite a few times.
That's right.
And they haven't experienced living in a nursing home before lockdown. They're experiencing the worst part of it.
Yes,
they've not been able to enjoy it like you used to enjoy everything we used to do.
Everything we used to do, yeah, I enjoy, yeah.
Hugging my husband, feeling his arms around me, looking forward to most. We need humans just need social contact, even if it's just holding a hand while you're going for a walk or something. And that's why it's nice here, because all the staff are lovely.
When I can have my husband and my eldest daughter come in, that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Oh, once it's all over, I'll be out. Once she gets the bus going. Well, number one, I want to see James Bond.
Yeah, in the cinema. The last trip we went on with us was to see, was it 1917 in the cinema?
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. We've been looking forward to that all year, haven't we? James Bond, new one.
Oh, well, we like to go for a run, don't we, love? And
a nice drive in there.
Driving with us
on the bus.
Yeah, picnic or go to the call and just on the prom and have a cornet, you know, anything like that. And outside, when it's nice, we have lovely garden teas, don't we?
It'd be nice when you can go back to church, or we can have
yes,
the church
I miss church.
Or the church can start coming back in as well.
I don't mind going down and sitting on the front. You know, the best place I like is up by Rest Bay. There's an area there you can sit out and watch the sea and watch the boats going up the channel or what have you.
Be nice to just get this business sorted out, everything get back to normal. But maybe our normal won't be the same as, might be better in some ways, that we don't go taking everything for granted as we've always done, I suppose. We take so much for granted, don't we?
That was wonderful, deeply moving, isn't it, really? And just the ordinary little things that people say, extraordinary ordinariness is lovely. Does anyone want to comment? Any of your thoughts, Suzy? Do you want to?
Yeah, I just think sometimes that we forget how much the residents take in. They don't get the opportunity to put their coat on and go home and have a hug from their partner or their husband, and that they've been absorbing a lot of what's been going on over the last 18 months. Even the people with later stages of dementia, it would be surprising how much they've heard in the corridors, or they've seen, or that perhaps we sometimes don't realise. So that's the sort of things that we're picking up alongside the funny stories, some of the real insights from the residents. We'd love to receive any comments about the film, because as I say, we're making our next film now with more voices, hopefully 100 residents. So if you think we could do anything better or different, or that will enhance what we've done already, then it would be really helpful.
I know the group I was in said, could they get involved, because they'd love to get involved, you know, so it's such a lovely, worthwhile project, isn't it? Yeah. So in terms of follow-up, they can contact, obviously they come either through us or contact you direct.
Yeah.
But I suppose there are two things really. One is access to the film if they want to share that and use it as a conversation starter for others, because I think that's quite useful. You'll put the link in the, would you put a web in the chat box? Is that all right? And then if people want to actually engage with you, they can contact. But if there is opportunity, I think, to make things like that, it's something, I think that'd be really interesting, sort of, it's outside your brief, but it might be something that we could look at, perhaps to help people to make portraits, to record things, because it's a you know, you end up making listening to people an activity rather, you know, and a creative activity, which is a lovely thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
And creating art out of conversation, beautiful. So great.
Thanks. Lots of people are really impressed with the video, so I don't think you'll get much feedback on improvements, because everyone thinks it's fantastic. And my reflection is actually just animating it, how much more powerful it is than words on a page.
Yeah,
I thought that worked fantastically well.
That was really important to us, Jill, right from the start, that we were asked to capture the voices of people living in care homes, and we wanted it to actually be their voice, not an animated cartoon of older people with walking sticks and wheelchairs. This was the real people that we spoke to. And Lewis, who was on the film, John made his portrait from clay, and very sadly Lewis died not long after we had worked with him, and he never got to have his fish and chips at Rest Bay. And you know, as artists and human beings and care home network manager, whatever we are, that was tough to take. You know, the average length of stay for somebody in a care home is 18 months, and many people that we're speaking to, you know, that we need to hear those words, and we need to be pushing them up to the places where those decisions are made about them, because sometimes it doesn't feel like they're being heard. No matter how well the care homes work and how brilliant they are at supporting the people that they care for, those voices just sometimes
so
aren't
important.
heard.
So it's lovely with our deep work, because what you've done is gathered evidence and then you've presented it in an interesting and engaging manner, and that's fantastic. And any opportunity we've got to promote that and create other audiences